names of specific people, so you can't tell any specifics. All you can tell is the gist of it. So, I'll read you some of the comments. These are comments from SSU faculty, though. So, there have been problems. The new administration's under deleted looks very good. But some of the above questions are hard to answer given the change in administration and deleted strong tenure here at deleted. While we have a very good new president, the faculty lacks confidence in the deleted, especially the deleted. Another one. Deleted needs to go. It was a bizarre and cynical suggestion to allow him to become deleted. As a deleted in the deleted program, my deleted process is not governed by deleted. I'll read that again. This is
You hear that comes down?
straight up, very down here. As a deleted in the deleted program, my deleted process is not governed by deleted. So I do not feel it is appropriate for me to respond to questions 1 through 8. If that's not Chris Matanupa, I don't know. This is the roast of Ryan Moore. There's a sheet going. Ryan is a student here at SSU. He's a student.
After the fashion.
Our first roaster is a man who doesn't balk at stop and define words for this level of roaster.
I'm just waiting to see how you're going to finish that. Doesn't bulk at.
The man who doesn't balk at things. And, you know, despite receiving numerous cautions, has proceeded to go forward. A man who it's said, puts the T in tiny, and who at the bowling alley is known simply as the Tiny Dancer. Tim Bain.
All right then, well, the spirit of open mic, what we once called flash fiction, is the spirit of saying whatever the fuck you want, however the fuck you want to say it. Many think that Joe Wenderoth is to blame for this unfettered freedom, but I blame Ryan Moore. In the spring of 2000, near the close of Flash Fiction's first year at SSU, Ryan read a piece about fucking women. I mean, really fucking women. I can't recall many lines from Ryan's poem now, but I do remember that it ended with a line about how we'll dig them up and fuck them when they're dead. Not long after this, a few of us bowlers, somewhat appalled by Ryan's piece, gathered, much like we were gathered here tonight for this roast, to shame Ryan with an open mic intervention. We found him in the Whitman room, of course, sipping from a giant Hardy's plastic cup. None of us doubted that it was full of beer and that Ryan was already drunk enough to begin composing his next I Want to Fuck Dead Women poem. After we were all in the room, Bain, Bicey, Solis, Wenderoth, Lupe closed the door and we turned to Ryan. The guys had asked me to start this intervention, feeling that I would best be able to guide the discussion about Ryan's misogynistic verses, seeing as how I'm kind of the pussy of the bowling team, and thus would have more of that feminine, non-judgmental touch when leading an intervention. I said, look, Ryan, we all think you kind of crossed the line with that last flash fiction piece. I mean, fucking dead women? What the fuck's that about? Ryan just looked at me with a dopey grin and bloodshot eyes. I continued. I mean, dude, we all like to shock people at the mic. There's certain lines you just don't cross. Like I, for example, would never ever say the word cunt in a story. None of us would. Am I right, guys? I turned to look to support from Joe, who glowered back at me and said, shut the fuck up, bitch. We're not talking about certain wrong syllables here. Ryan laughed and said, oh, right, Joe would never say cunt. At the first flash fiction, he talked about nuns licking each other's pussies. Got any more stories about Disney characters fucking each other in the ass while having an existential crisis, Joe? At this, I confess I had to giggle. Ryan, becoming more emboldened by his Hardy's Cup booze, turned to me and said, laugh it up, fat boy. What kind of gay hermaphrodite serial killer are you going to write about next week? Geez, every week we're up to our ankles in blood after listening to one of your hack noir pieces. At this, Vicey put his hand on Ryan's shoulder, gripped his collarbone hard enough to let Ryan know that he could just as easily snap it as grip it, and said, easy, Red. That's the T-Dog you're talking to there. Besides, this intervention is about you, not us. Ryan, made undaunted by Miller Lite, said, oh, so now we hear from Mr. Scatological Humor. What bodily function will be the focal point of your next essay, Vicey? And Lupe, Ryan paused a second and said, actually, I like your stuff. Hearing your sweet and bitter prose is like remembering a good fuck during church. Lupe lit a cigarette and said, sure, Ryan, I'll bet you're in church every Sunday thinking about all your remembered fucks as you take a big swig from the communion chalice. Suddenly, the godfather of our little gang, Joe Windeross, made his move. He opened up the Whitman room door again to reveal Ryan Moore's mother. Then he said, if you won't listen to us, maybe you'll listen to the woman who gave birth to you and allowed you the privilege to write about fucking dead women. He had barely finished his sentence when Mrs. Moore let loose with a string of profanity, the likes of which no one has ever heard in a flash fiction, an open mic, hell, probably not even in any bar in Marshall. When she was finished, Ryan said, ah, fuck you, ya hooer. At this, Vicey landed a haymaker on Ryan's jaw and knocked him off his chair, sending the Hardy's Cup and its last few drops of beer flying. Then the four of us started kicking the shit out of Ryan in true Sopranos style as he lay balled up on the floor beneath the sad gaze of Walt Whitman.
Eleni Mavru.
Kill it once again. Kill me softly, you know? Okay.
Is not a woman. She has never been one to balk at things. Beyond the mother premise, aborted shamelessly in Spivak and others, there is no excuse. She's best known for her want ads. Everyone in Canby knows her as Seeking Big Black Eunuch. So let's get her up here. Eleni.
Oh, God. To write a satire, one must know a person's different aspects in the social, political, and familial sphere. I know Ryan very little. I had a couple of beers with him whenever we went out away from open mic. So, I am going to paint you a picture, and you call it one, about an imaginary encounter of mine with him. It is a fantasy. one time or another. So, here it goes. I find myself in the grassy hills of Mount Olympus in ancient times. I walk my long skirts on that still uncontaminated by civilization earth heading home. At some point, I hear divine music enveloping the hills, competing with the gargling sounds of springs and small waterfalls. I head to where the sound is coming from. There, I meet a fair young lad. So fair, you would not think the sun, so strong in those areas, has touched him. There is a shepherd flute in one hand. Stuck in another, making music for the sheep. The hills and nature here. Who are you, I asked. What beautiful music do you produce? Sorry. Pan, he replies, the semi-god of music and poetry. Oh my, I reply. Come then, lad. My shed is behind. I'm sorry. Those shrubs. He follows me. I give him fresh milk and my fresh baked bread. He looks content. I have by now thoughts of Dionysian rituals. It is always surprising and tempting when one is encountered by primeval beauty. So, this is my way of saying, Ryan Moore, I think you are a very authentic person. And I will never admit what else I might be saying. So do not even ask nor wonder. Thank you.
Magnificent, boisterous, labile, poor Debian. We have arrived in her at a knowledge. Tim Bicey be damned. It's quite a meaningless dream. This is part of cause and effect, the name of the sovereign. Susan McLean.
I love a good balk. Anyone who knows Ryan Moore knows what a crying shame it is that such a good writer has sold his soul to the devil of alcohol. So I've got a cautionary poem for you, Ryan, based on the story of Faust, as told by Goethe, the romantic poet from Germany. The story of Faust involves, of course, Faust selling his soul to the devil so that he can have anything that he wants. And the first thing that he wants is an innocent young girl named Margaret. And the devil, whose name is Mephistopheles, helps him to seduce Margaret, with terrible consequences for her and terrible remorse for Faust at what he's done. But before I get into the poem itself, I'm going to have to explain what an apotropaic gesture is. Throughout history in the Mediterranean, people thought that you could put the evil eye on someone, and to avert the evil eye when they thought somebody intended them ill,